G'day punters, welcome to the Mailbag, previewing a fat meeting at Moonee Valley, the Rails in the True. We come off a meeting 2 weeks ago, which was abandoned mid-meeting because of the amount of rain they copped. That was in the rail 5 metre position. So how that affects this meeting is only a guess, but my guess would be, and it's a pretty confident guess, that you want to be using those inside 5 lanes. You never really know, but I think it's a really good starting point to focus on horses that are definitely midfield or better. And even if you're sort of in like that 1-1 line or just behind it, you're just going to be able to stay in the good ground. Great meeting. We're going to preview races 5, 6, 7 and 8. That's all the grouse races on the card, but there's good horses all throughout the meeting. Welcome, Josh. How are you, big boy?
Not too bad. Surviving. We're almost at the end of 6 weeks here, and looks like we'll be inside for a couple more. But yeah, we're alive.
It'll allow you to keep growing that luscious space. I like it. Good areas.
Yeah. Inspo from the great man, you.
And Burner Fanning, Pistol Pete Anthony. How are you, great man?
Oh, yeah, I'm outstanding. I'm just
following
along.
Tie it back a bit today?
No, that was just from the winds a couple of days ago. It just stuck like this.
Which is probably true, punters. He washes it about once every 3 weeks. He's a bit blurry on my screen. Hopefully he's not too blurry on yours. Peter, where are we going to start, mate? Race 5, 1,200 metres?
Yeah, race 5. The little listed quality race, isn't it?
I don't know. There's good horses in it. We've got Age of Chivalry, Akana Star, Showmanship, Rainbow Thief, who... again, was another expensive horse for us last prep. I think we backed it every start from about its maybe good first up performance at Sandown. Even lost to Pakenham for us. But then it ended up winning some good races and showing it's got actual ability. And we've got Mandela Effect for Scotty Brunton first up here, who flies fresh. Josh, how'd you see the race?
I thought tricky race on first look, like a lot of these at this meeting. Few resuming. I had a lot of the pots on just not suited distance for these runners. Akana Star drawn well, but Mellon's on, but just really like Pete will know better than me, the horse probably. But I think it's just probably needs further. Same with Mandela Effect, 1,400 metre horse, peaks over maybe a mile even at the end of last prep in the Tassie Carnival. So horses like Showmanship and Age of Chivalry, got the fitness on their side. Horse like Chicago Cub, like that's just a straight track horse. Felicia up in grade, well out of sort of the handicap here. It's going to find it tricky. I can't believe it's $10. I thought the two favourites are deservedly so, but for me, nothing betting. If I was to tip one, the Age of Chivalry, purely based upon the map and what Moonee Valley does generally when the rails in the True 1,200 metres.
Pistol?
Yeah, I completely agree. It's a no-bet race here. Showmanship back to 1,200 is interesting. I would have thought it would have been staying at 1,400 or potentially going for a mile, but maybe that's just a program there. But I can't really find anything or any angles outside of those top two in the market. So similar to Josh, no bet.
I think Age of Chivalry, Akana Star and Showmanship are the 3 progressive horses here. Rainbow Thieves, both trials were okay, but first up, I think it's a bit of a knock. I suspect, from 8, Dwayne Dunn, this thing's near last, and just swinging around into that worst going, which I'm predicting is going to be a proper disadvantage. Goldfields, Carnap, Fresh. Heptagon, 61 days. Interested to see what the market does with it. Prefer to see it second up, but it's only 61 days off the break, so can't completely pen it. I think Age of Chivalry is a Group 1 horse. I think it's going to get the perfect run from barrier 4. I think it'll start favourite. I think it's a really good bet at $3.50. I think you can get stuck into that and even look to arb some of that back. I can't see how it doesn't shorten, especially if the first couple of races have favoured on pace horses. I think this thing's a beast. Excited to see what does this prep. Race 6, boys, 1,000 metres. Pete.
Yes. Look, it's a pretty iffy 1,000 metre race, to be honest. Bonds away, stable change, interesting behaviour there. I've just wanted to bet if horses on speed here, and clearly the fastest out of the gate for me, and it posted a decent figure last prep, was Bella Vella. I'm not sure the price is any great luxury, but if this was a day we're on course, I would be looking to pen and lay Hanseatic out of the yard. So that's probably the angle I'll be trying to take with it, because I just don't see how it can be that short, given what we're likely forecasting with Moonee Valley there on Saturday. It's difficult to win from last or near last over the 1,000 anyway. So that's the way I'll be looking at the race, is more trying to take on the horses short in the market here.
I thought, Josh, you go.
Yeah, I'm sort of with Pete. On my ratings, I sort of had Hanseatic as a probably overs bet, but I sort of like to tick boxes with it as well. In terms of, first time the Valley, it's a horse that just needs a lot of tempo in the race, which there probably will be. I don't know if anyone saw Witherspoon's jump out after that abandoned meet the other week, but that flew along. There was some lightning quick splits for it in that jump out, and it was just off and gone, and it was leading the jump out by 5 lengths or something. So this thing likes to run along, which I thought was well in for that race the other week. But this is definitely much harder with Hanseatic in the race too. Rulership's in it, which is going to be a lot of speed in the race. Dispatch will be burnt for speed, I'm imagining. We'll have to take a sit. Bella, interesting one, coming off that big, the Sangster win. Don't know how to treat that. The market looks like it's just saying it's going to do it again, which I find hard from the gate in a small field like this.
It does like cracking fruit. It does look like to be suited, but I agree. The market's kind of not let you have a go at it here.
Nah, it seems like it's it's just gone over the top. Horse like Rulership, I thought last week it got coffined. I was on it personally, and it got out in the last 100 metres. I thought it was pretty good, but then again, it still wasn't going past whatever OSL was in the race. Maybe Legionnaire was in that race. Still wasn't just like going past it. So I don't know how to treat that. I haven't really looked at Snowden's stats on the backup, which I like to look at. They might be good at backing up horses, but if I'm getting sort of $8-9 closer to the day, and there's any sign of sort of a leader's bias, I'll probably be having something on Rulership, but that'd be about it.
What did you guys make of Brooklyn Hustle? Number 7, Brooklyn Hustle, drawn 2, second favourite here. Pete?
Oh, monster splits. Last start off that relatively slow tempo, but this is harder. And again, similar queries to what I've got with Hanseatic. It'll be probably last or second last going in towards a turn and needing a whole heap of luck. The seas depart and some of the good horses up front to just fall in the heat.
Josh?
Yeah, it keeps getting drawn. It's funny when it's run at Moonee Valley, it's drawn 1 and 4. So it's always going to be a get back along the fence. And like Pete said, seas depart. But it just keeps winning at Moonee Valley. So I'm not sure if it just loves Moonee Valley as a track, because it's sort of I think it's the only track that has won it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think. But yeah, it'd be interesting to watch. It's not a horse for me just because of its run style. Might be a star. She might be a star, but in this sort of race, who knows what will happen as well, because there is a mad speed on paper. And like they say, jockeys share all the same speed maps and then do the opposite to what they think. So there might be no speed. Rulership might get a soft lead and just run away with it, or something like Ashlaw or Witherspoon. I couldn't tell you who's going to be the leader though. I don't even want to have a guess.
I thought if they didn't have the other meeting like 2 weeks ago at the Valley, I think Brooklyn Hustle is progressive, and the way it closed and the way it loves Moonee Valley and the good tempo, it sort of stands out as the way to go here. I'm keen to oppose Hanseatic, first up to 3-year-old. I think if you like Hanseatic, you can't not back Rulership. Rulership's got, they SP'd about the same in the prelude, and we were on Rulership, and I was filthy on the ride on it. They then SP'd about $3 and $8 in the Blue Diamond, and Rulership was utterly slaughtered. I just think it's got race fitness on its side. It was good last week. It lost momentum in the straight, and instead of giving up, it found again. Its last 150 and through the line was good work. I think it sits in the coffin here probably. and it's crossed by Witherspoon. But then Witherspoon, right? So they're going to jump at 1,000 metres of valley, and we're all thinking it's going to be really fast. I then look at who's riding the fast horses here. Ollie's not going to go ridiculously quick on Witherspoon, which looks to be the fastest early horse here. I worry the rules will get held up as Ollie's just waiting and waiting and waiting on the corner. But I think those two are definitely going to get the right runs and definitely get every possible chance. I think Bella will run a big race. Bonds away from 7, no. Hanseatic from 9, no. Brooklyn Hustle, it needs to cease to part, I think, with the way the track will play, so I'm against it. If we were going to the races, I'd be really keen to get a good read on Ash Law. We've seen this horse 1,000 times. It can win this race, but it's unlikely. It's about the right price there at $34. Race 7, boys, 1,200 metres. Up comes the sprint hold. Up comes a speed map. Pete, what do you think here? This is a good race. Like a good race to look at. I don't know if it's a great race to bet into.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I'm interested with a couple of these maiden winners going straight to the city. Night Raid Key looks like it should be able to jump and lead this with Zara on board. It's funny how there's the 3 Mick Price and Mick Kent Jr. horses, and you've got Zara, Oliver and Walker, and Zara's lobbed himself on the favourite. I like that sort of behaviour there. The horse I want to save on is this Aidensfield, which just purely off its figures and its data from its first prep, strong figures. Both of those should be on speed, and that's why I'll be leaning in this race. Got time for River Knight, but it is short enough versus some of these. It doesn't have necessarily the greatest SP against, say, Agreeable, for instance, and then also Unstoppable from the first prep. So Night Raid, Aidensfield for me.
Joshy?
I reckon it's a great form race just to look at what form is going to hold up. Like Pete said, the maidens, those coming straight from maidens. There's a couple from a Moe maiden on the same meeting. Then there's the Gazette runners, which are RAF and River Knight. Then you've got that handicap a couple of weeks back at Moonee Valley on that disgusting track where, it was a lead bias, but Dirty Thoughts put them away pretty well. But for me, I really like Agreeable. However, I thought it might be more suited for 1,400 metres. Just hits the line so well, especially in its Geelong maiden. It just was so strong through the line. A horse like Unstoppable, interesting. First time 1,200 metres. I think on the day I'm just going to have something on it unless the smarts find it at 9 a.m. and we've missed the price. And it goes
blinkers back on. The blinkers back on. It's just
exactly.
the map.
And Johnny on. If he does that, there's that ride that you see them do at Moonee Valley where they sort of gather momentum around the bend and take cover, and you just got to take off early, which is what you want. It might put it into the race, but I'd be willing to have a throw at the stumps and stop a bell rather than Agreeable at the price, just because I like it. I've just liked its first up campaign. It was always looking further, I thought. But the horse here would be probably Aidensfeld for me. Just got nice tactical speed, sit on speed. Interesting one is Night Raid. Any punting form subscribers out there will see that its last 200 was super in its maiden. Questionable markers maybe at Tatura, which could have skewed. But if anyone's at Tatura, can they just walk the track and just double check that it's 200 metres, or have we got a 100 metre last?
I thought Aidensfield big unders. There's no form out of its first prep, none. And the form around it is like Star L, who's a good horse maybe, but it's aimed at the Oaks. Like it's just different. There's no numbers out of it to justify the price.
Still Panston though. Like it's unbeaten. Like you can't knock it for winning.
Yeah, I know, but I can knock it at 440. And there's good speed here. There's no guarantee it even gets across. It's Hayes first up. Like I don't trust him at that price. This map, like I've got Dirty Thoughts worse than midfield. It sat outside lead last start. It's got speed. I think Agreeable is going to be the best horse out of this race, but you can't back it like today with this map because it's in no man's land. Like Unstoppable, they're going to be probably last and second last. One might dive for the Brooklyn Hustle cease to part run. Well, Unstoppable, and like Johnny Allen's not going to go through him. He's going to go via the Legends Bar. There'll be no one there, but he'll be right near it. I'm not kidding. It's where he's going to be going on this horse. And it'll be interesting how it goes. I think RF with the blinkers on from 1 could sit closer. Wasn't a bad run at Caulfield. Big odds. I'd much rather back it if I was backing one of the Hayes horses. But I think River Knight is bomb-proof bet here. You can back it each way if you're a smaller punter. Or you bet each way. Big punters bet each way too. Sorry. But drawn 7, good speed, good SP profile. I think the price is fair. I think it might start sort of closer to $5. I think
What did you think about?
Speed, I think he gets the 1-1.
I thought the same about River Knight. However, it was very weak in its last 200 in that last race at Caulfield in the Gazette. What did you make of that for the punters out there that are sort of looking at those sort of things?
Well, I thought there was a lot more merit to say the run of Agreeable and maybe even ARF in that race because they weren't suited. But then when I've mapped this race and I've got the feeling I've got about how this track will play, I think we're going to mark them the same way again. Like, I can see River Knight stopping if it does and running 3rd or 2nd. It's going like when we mark this race post meeting, it's like a 90% chance to say River Knight's suited. Agreeable, not suited, no intent, strong late. Unstoppable, not suited, no intent, via the Legends Bar, good effort. Like they get like ARF, slow away, over race midsection, forget. River Knight's just going to be like jumped, crossed, settled 1-1 in the best part of the straight. I think it sets up to run its best race. And the horse we haven't spoken about, which could get a nice run, and Dwayne did ride 2 big winners yesterday, which was I'll talk about that in one sec. The Clean Machine never suited and should get a nice soft run here. It'll just be a matter of if the Chachira Final 200s are sweet or not, because if Night Raid just sort of stops, then Dwayne will be cast here. But he might just be able to peel off and get the back of River Knight, who runs past Night Raid. Interesting yesterday, wasn't it, with Eureka Street? Punters, go watch race 2 at Bendigo yesterday and then go and watch Eureka Street's previous start at Cranbourne. Both times there was a change of tactics to the stewards, so those horses going to be ridden with intent. I want you to watch the way Dwayne jumped yesterday and watch the way J-Mott jumped the start before. I'm not saying it was completely dead at Cranbourne, but it was $3 out of $7. And I'll let you make your own decision there. Race number 9. Oh, that's it, isn't it?
No, race 8. Yeah.
Race 8, Peter. What's this?
That's the Feehan, Group 2 over 1,600 metres. Regal Power has gone home. It's got a lung infection, I believe.
I'll tell you what, if this COVID keeps up and all the other dramas keep up, I'll probably have a lung infection too pretty soon. I am smashing them. Big time. Starting.
Oh, right.
Like I'm at
Regal Power was too.
Where was he stabled? With Moods? Maybe Moods was just lung busting. Anyway, Feehan Stakes, good race. Always a good race. There's the market. There's the speed map. Josh, what do you think here?
Well, I was actually keen on the profile of Regal Power.
He loves the quick back up, doesn't he?
Yeah, loves the quick back up, but they're too quick for this one. So Coney, they opened at $10. Silly price. It's had 3 backups in its life. It's won 2 of them. It's a horse that's going to love it. It's been super. I can never find the horse personally, but it was super last week. I thought off a moderate pace when In Good Health sort of just fell in. Sabatiano race. I'm not sure how that form lines up from the start before, but you got to respect it here because the favourite Surprise Baby obviously set for bigger things this prep. I'm not sure. I'm probably taking it on at the price. Probably got it marked $4. Horse like Harbour Views as well. Hard to have. Coming around, interesting horse. Was pretty good on the last run when it wasn't suited on that horrific track. There's probably a few lengths off where you want to be at least. So there's probably excuses to give to that. Craig Newitt goes on. Streets of Avalon just gets dead over 1600, so you can't possibly back it here. So I think Ciccone is the one for me.
Pete?
Yeah, zero interest with this race. It's just...
Don't force it. I like that.
Way too many queries. The map is a bit of an issue for a few of these. There's much better races to bet into.
Yeah, I think there's three sort of main chances, and Josh has covered them all. Surprise Baby, it wants to go to the Melbourne Cup, but Josh, 18 months ago, before this was good, we were backing this thing at the Valley. It's won this track and trip, and it fucking killed him. It cornered like a beast. I think it makes the race unbettable. Yep. I think Ciccone, I agree with everything you said, but I reckon it's about the right price. And if there were more ponies in this race, I'd be keener to back Harbour View. So I think you have to give it the benefit of the doubt that it's going to relish a much more honest tempo. Most of the time when it has failed is in a really, really slowly run race. I think the faster they go, the better for it. And its SP profile is elite. So I'd be tipping Surprise Baby from Harbour Views and then Ciccone. Couldn't really split them either versus their prices, but I agree with Peter. The race is a bit thin. Now, Peter, before we started the show, you said there's an absolute moral in race 9. We're not going to cover it in depth, but just give it away to the punters at home. What do you got?
I love the play of backing De Beer, which is another horse that just loves the Valley. Raced there twice for 2 wins. And I'll be saving Skelm in the staying race. I think there's a lot of very iffy looking horses here. De Beer maps really well. The last start form looks hot. Waller, Michael Rodd just puts it in the spot. It's forward of midfield. Should be able to just control things from there. Skelm I'll be saving on. Thought the run was okay there last start. Is capable of big figures as well.
Huge figures. Same with the track and trip, not the track and trip horse, but the horse that just ticks boxes is Credence for me. When I half found it doing the race, I thought might get good odds here, but no, we didn't. It's $4.20 or something. So we'll let the race go. Peter's keen. Josh, best bet, value bet, and a lay, please.
I'll probably go with that thing that I just said, Ciccone. Value that. I'll take. What else have I said? Value bet will be $9. Not much value. No, I've got it. Ciccone, rulership in race 6 is my value. $9 is questionable value for me. And my lay of the day will be, I'll just lay showmanship with the great man Jackson, who I saw was laying it on Betfair for a stack again.
He knows how to stop him. My best is race 5, number 3, Age of Chivalry. I think you can bet until it hurts there. I think rulership and Witherspoon are value in race number 6. And also valued somewhat, $6.50. Normally best is sort of north of that. But I think River Knight, you can back each way with good confidence. My advice, just back an all to win and just let that ride and pray for the best to whichever God you believe in. Peter.
De Beer in the last with a saver on Skelm. That's it.
Beautiful work, boys. Righto, we got late mail betting advice from the Valley by me. Belmont via Pistol. Where are you racing in Sydney?
Randwick.
Royal Randwick. Scurry's home ground. Has it been 4 winning meetings in a row?
It might even be more than that.
He is absolutely flying. If you haven't got Scurry stuff, you've got to get it. This is a pure, unadulterated, no filter, just pure look at the pony. Nothing else. You can overlay it versus your own form. You can get someone else's prices and just overlay it. Get any information. And as always, Curly's just betting. I think he's betting 4 meetings on Saturday. Get up there and get involved with Curly at Queensland. Toowoomba on a Saturday night into a little bit of Belmont. Beautiful. Righto.